All right, gang, look what I have here. So if you've seen the Mark Twain Show video, you know I grabbed this at the 2019 Mark Twain Show in Quincy, Illinois. And I had been on the fence about grabbing this windrower because it's a lot like the MacDon, which I also didn't buy, by the way. But I don't have a lot of room for windrowers, and I'm trying to focus my collection a little bit. So, where does this fit? I don't know, but once I saw it in person, it was too cool to pass up. That I do know. So here it is. So this is the W170, and you guys can look up the specs on that. I know jack squat about windrowers, so we don't do this sort of thing here. And in fact, when I went out west, that was kind of the first time I'd ever seen these sort of things in action. So it was pretty cool. Now, I will say this about this model. It is well detailed. This is a very nice model. So the first question that everybody gets into is, does this header come off? And it doesn't. So what you have to do, I'll try to show you here. There's some work here, up here, kind of closer to this, because that's where it pivots and it's attached. And then you have to figure out how to get this apart as well. Now I believe it's just a couple pins, so it's not the end of the world. It's not impossible. I don't know that you're gonna have to do any cutting, but it's not just gonna pop right off there either. So then you got to figure out, if you're going to put it on a combine, you have to figure out how to get it on a combine. And you also are going to have to fabricate a center section. So anyway, that's kind of the rundown of the header. Now mine did come in, and I don't know if you can see it here. It's got a little warpage on this side of the fingers, on the pickup fingers. So that's definitely a mark or two against it, because when you're going to drop $60 on a toy, you kind of don't want that. But it's the way it goes, so whatever. Not the end of the world. Other than that, it's a nicely detailed header. The belts are just cast in there, but it still looks good, especially with the front guards, or row markers, I suppose is what you'd call those. I was hoping to find some detail back here. Pto Shafts, that sort of thing. None to be found. Now, that could, of course, be really easily fabricated. I mean, Pto Shafts are about as easy as it gets. You just take some styrene tube of a couple different sizes and make it work. So, with that said, while I think what I've seen online, most people are interested in this header, I think the real star of the show is the windrower itself. This thing is really, really nicely detailed. Nice wheels and tires. They do have kind of a rubbery feel to them. You can see this freewheel's back here, which is cool, and you can flip them all the way around and all that sort of thing. Really nice. If we start back here, nice lights and flasher detail. This is, I don't know. This is just part of the cast. It almost feels like it has some texture to it, but it doesn't, I don't think. We've got our exhaust here and a couple vents here. I was looking at this hood, and I was kind of thinking to myself, like, John Deere is probably due for a redo on their hoods as far as their four-wheel drive tractors. What if that was like the new four-wheel drive hood? I don't think it would be, because I don't think you'd have the cooling capacity with this opening, but anyway, I don't know. I thought it kind of looked cool. All right. Checking this out. Really great detail, and I'm going to bring this closer to y'all so you can see it. Really great flasher detail and all of that on the mirrors, and the mirrors themselves are really nicely detailed. That's a home run as far as I'm concerned there. And we of course get our Green Star globe on top, or I guess, do they still call that Green Star? I think they still call that Green Star. Detail interior, I mean, it's not super detailed, but it's not bare either. I mean, there is some detail on that console, if you can see it there. And then, of course, you get a seat, a buddy seat, and a nice steering wheel that is not just a flat disc. It actually has spokes. Well done, spec cast. Well done. And, of course, we get all of the rails here, which look excellent. They're just nicely done, good crisp angles, all that sort of thing. And then over here, it is much of the same. So it's a simple but yet really neat piece. So I guess, the question I get, and sort of the question that always comes to my mind when a new toy comes out, that is this worth the price tag. And I think at $60, I'm going to say yeah. Because one, this header is not something you can just go out and get. And it's pretty big and it's pretty cool and it's nicely detailed. But two, this is a really nicely detailed machine, really. Now, the undercarriage, there's nothing going on here, and that's fine. I don't know that there's much going on there in the real one, to be honest with you. I've never seen one, so. But the rear pivots like this. Like I said, nice freewheeling. It rolls well. There's a couple little quality of life things like this wheel right here. You can see how the rubber is sticking over the edge of the rim right there, just a tad. But that's an easy fix, no big deal. You know, and like I said, a couple other maybe really nitpicky things you could do, but all in all, it's a nice piece. Now, I kind of hate to say, like, okay, go just rush out and buy this for $60, because with all toys, there tends to be a trend. They come out, if they're hot, they really pick up speed in price. These haven't yet, by the way, even though they're brand new. The markup at the show was non-existent. So maybe these aren't going to be like that. Anyway, so let's take the Quad Tracks, for example. Came out, initial price was whatever, 160 or 170, whatever it ended up being. Took a huge jump early on, and then they started falling back a little bit. I saw them, like at their peak, they were like $900. Now they're like $600 at the shows I've been to recently. You could get one for that. And I bet if you came in there with a $500 bill, you could probably get one. But now, obviously, this is a 64 scale toy, so probably as far as scale, like money-wise goes, I don't expect this to jump to $100, $200 tractor anytime soon, but I'd feel really comfortable buying it at $60. I mean, I did. I bought it at $60. I'm gonna fix that back there. So, yeah, I don't know. If you want it, go get it. It's a sweet toy. You're not gonna be disappointed with this. They did a nice job. Like I said, there's some nitpicky things, but I loved a little more detail here and there. But it's a $60 tractor or $60 toy, not a $100 toy. So you kind of get that's kind of the difference, I think. All right, guys. Anyway, that'll do it for our quick look here at the 170 W170 windrower from SpecCast and John Deere. All right, guys. Have yourselves a great night. Thanks for watching. Treat each other well. Happy tractor hunting.